This is Two Skis Walk Into a R. I'm Ray.
And I'm Brian.
And this vignette is about saving plots and saving your script and not saving your workspace. So to kick it off, I have a script in here from an old greenhouse experiment from previous Ecology Lab students, and I made some plots and stuff. And I think we want to kick it off by saving our plots, show you how to do that so that you could put that into a nice report. And Brian, you're a little more expert at this than I am, so you guide us through. I'm going to click export, correct?
Yeah, you're going to click export on the graph that you want to export.
Yep.
And you're going to have two options. You're going to have save as image or save as PDF. So if you want to put this image of your graph in a PowerPoint presentation or into a Microsoft Word document, you'll want to save it as an image. If you are going to be making a poster in, say, Adobe Illustrator, or you want to view this in Adobe Acrobat, you would want to save that as a PDF. So for now, let's just save it as an image, and we're going to be able to put this into our reports later on, or to be able to put this into a PowerPoint presentation.
Great.
So here we are at the top. You'll see that you have different image formatting. If you want to have a higher quality, larger file, usually an SVG or a TIF will have higher quality, but it's also going to be a bit bigger. If you want to have a PowerPoint presentation where it's going to be easy to see on a projector, but not on, it wouldn't print out as well, you could just use a very simple JPEG. So let's just stick with the JPEG for right now.
Okay.
And then we're going to put where we want to have our file downloaded. So we're going to click on the directory. And for me, I usually work by putting my file directly onto my desktop first.
Not me. I have a folder for Ecology Lab, and inside that I have a folder for our videos that we're making right now, and inside that I made a folder for working files for videos. So I'm going to save that there.
And so the step that Ray has, he has a real well-organized folder structure on his computer. And I do as well, but I usually put it onto the desktop first so I can look at it and find that file easily, and then I drag over the files that I want. So I have an extra step in my workflow, but however you get there, you want to always end up in your well-curated file structure.
Excellent. Okay, and I think I got to name it, right? Our plot isn't very useful. This will be old greenhouse demo plot. And I'm going to, since I don't actually need this, friends, I'm going to put garbage, which is my code to myself for any file that I don't actually have to save down the road. Okay.
So what you will see with the output is if you go back and look at your original RStudio plot viewer, you will see that this file is going to be the same aspect ratio, so the same width and the same length as what is going to be made in your downloaded plot. So if you want to make this a square, for example, you can play with the width and the height up at the top, and then update your preview, and then hit save. Maybe it doesn't like that. Oh, there we are. So
great.
Here's our updated. So now you can see that it's actually going to be a bit of a different shape. It's very close, but it's a different shape than we had originally.
Yep. Great. And my Macintosh opened it up for me because it thought that would be helpful.
A PC will do the same thing.
Great. Okay. So back to RStudio. So that's how you can save that. You could also, I should just quickly mention, copy to the clipboard, which some students find useful because then you can copy this and then go over to Word. And you have that, and then you can paste that into your Word document. And make sure you're looking at it in the page layout view, and there you have it. And I can type some other stuff around that.
And the same thing works for PCs as well.
Yep. Great. Okay. So that's saving that. Then we have our script, and I want to save my script before I close RStudio. I would definitely want to save my script. You see how it's red right there? That means it's not saved. So
yeah, whenever you see it's red or you have that little asterisk next to it, that means that you're in need of saving.
Right.
You should always get in the habit as you're working on the file, constantly click that little disk, and that little disk will save your file, your R script for you.
I'm going to click it. Oh, it saved it. Great. So now because I have very good scripting practice, I know that I can open up this script in the future and run all of the code and get right back to where I am right now. And so given all of that, I can close out of RStudio. I'm going to do that. I'm going to quit RStudio. And if I hadn't saved my script, it would ask me if I want to, and I would probably say yes. But now, since I already had that saved, it's asking, do I want to save the workspace image?
What do you think, Ray?
Well, a lot of students would think that you would save it, but surprisingly, it's better to not save your workspace image.
So don't confuse yourself. You always want to save your script, but you don't want to save your workspace image.
Right.
Because what saving your workspace image does is it keeps all of the objects and all of the plots that you've accumulated in your working session.
Right.
And oftentimes, if you open up your saved workspace, you may have information that was stored that your new R session would rely on. So if you had an error, for example, in your new R session, it could be relying on old data.
Yeah, it's confusing to say, but it's best practice to start from a fresh, clean RStudio at the beginning of every session. I see so many students come and they have all of their homeworks opened and a million objects, and it's just a nightmare. So do yourself a favor and don't save that workspace image.
And if you do, it's not the end of the world. You can delete that workspace image, and it'll be in the folder of which you saved your R script, which we can show later, but that's not really necessary at this point in time. But it's not the end of the world, but just try to get in the habit of always not saving that R workspace.
Bingo. Okay, over and out.